Alright, everybody, welcome back to the Pale Beyond. Make sure to like and subscribe and go follow me on Rumble. The crew are called together before you. You lift yourself onto a crate. Hushed whispers roll through the audience. Kasha readies her ledger and pencil. Then they once again wait your next words. How you deliver them. With renewed optimism, benefiting of solid land. The irrefutable evidence of progression, you can feel it beneath your feet. The crew look to you. Now, I'm not one for grand speeches. That much should be clear by now. I'll keep this short. To be honest, I never expected to be the captain of this expedition. We can breathe a sigh of relief we have made land. There are indeed several heavy breaths released among the crowd. A silent moment of reflection passed. I'm only sorry that Cordell's kennel could not make it with us. Cordell gives a smile and nod to you and thanks. Kurt speaks up. Our work's not finished, we still have a mountain to scale. We all saw the thingy from the Viscount. Across this path is safely a cabin with enough supplies to last until rescue. Templeton clears his throat. What is our current priority, Captain? No matter what, we must scale this mountain. We'll know our next course of action from there. Kurt gives a nod. The assurance of solid ground seems to stir those who are listening. Well said, Captain. Indeed. Well, we don't have much time. Best be moving on. Back to work. The crew gathered. The crew are granted the time they need before eventually dispersing, return to their roles at camp. And nobody died. I mean, technically Mrs. Gnome died. Once. But that was an accident. And therefore never happened. Alright, I guess we end this week. Of course, we don't have any food. You dream you're back on the Temperance. Wake up shaken. Wake up shaken. Literally, by the engineer. He stands over you bug-eyed. For a moment you think you're back on the Temperance. The ship is sinking. He shakes you harder. The jolt brings you back to your senses. Shaw. It's Cordell. What about Cordell? The food and supplies are missing from the stores. Okay, we still have one bolt-action rifle. Okay, that makes sense why they gave us one, so Cordell could steal it. I think she's trying to make a run for it. Then why are you wasting time with me? We need to stop her. After getting up, the two of you charge out of the tent into the snow. I found tracks heading towards the mountain pass. If we need a shooter, I got gun. 3 guns, in fact. You follow the tracks away from camp. Keep looking. It's half an hour before you finally spot her. Descending the dead mountain. Shush, there she is. Let's approach slowly. Follow my lead. You both creep up towards the silhouette. Get closer. Cordell picks up his sound, slowly turning back. Spot you both. She clears her throat. Captain Shaw, Hammond. To what do I owe this surprise? Don't play coy. We know where you're up to. Then you seem to be several steps up ahead of myself. And what apparently am I up to? Please, educate me. So you can just abandon the crew in the dead of night? This isn't a matter of can, it's a question of should. And from my position, you really left me with no alternative. Please tell me why you're trying to leave. Stanberry's expecting. You should be doing what's best for the pups. What does it look like I'm doing, Robin? If you leave, you're ensuring their demise. Perhaps, but there's more of a chance out here than with the rest of you. Not going to allow Stanberry and I to be part of this expedition any farther. Do you really think the two of you will be better off without the rest of us? Can I shoot Cordell? I do. These puppies will be my new litter. I'll start over. Certainly not the first time I've had to do this. The snowfall has begun to set on both of you. You're gonna shoot me before you leave for proposal duel, no. You should have come to me first, Cordell. We both know that wouldn't have worked. Then let me try convincing you now. No, I don't want anyone to leave. I'm listening. Hammond needs someone else with their head screwed on straight. I mean, to be honest, these two are probably the smartest people. Mostly Hammond. You might feel that you don't need us, but we need you, both of you. She's still listening. You've seen Templeton. I'm gonna need people on my side who care about more than just this mission. The lady is silent for a minute. Loyal to me. She finally walks over to you. The three of you begin a long trek back to camp. Stanbury follows, patiently. Not a word spoken on the journey back. Yeah, I succeeded. I'm a genius. I'm so smart. Kasha, careful. You turn your head back to spot Kasha, perched precariously over the edge, a camera in hand, lining up another shot from her position. It's a great shot of the horizon, trust me. You'll get a good shot of falling to your death. Get back over here. The ground isn't safe. You can't trust anything beneath your feet this high up. Kasha doesn't heed their warnings, instead lining up a shot, snapping it cleanly. There, no issue, and this just might be a banner image for my report. If civilization is done being foolish... Sorry, if the civilian is done being foolish, maybe we move on. Kasha knows and turns back to join the rest of the crew, only for her to slip on the ice beneath. You lunge forwards and pull Kasha forward so she doesn't hurling over the edge, but her initial stumbling, falling the camera below. That was a close one. My camera! Be thankful the camera took the plunge, and not yourself, young one. Despite the reassurance, Kasha moves back to the edge, peering over and searching for her camera. I can't lose it. Everything in the expedition was on there. Wait, I see it. Nonsense, it's a blip on the rocks. You can't see the ground from this distance. No, it's not on the ground, it's snagged in the ice. Not too far down, climb back down and... Not a hope. You want to go back to claiming? If I lose this camera, my entire region for being on this nightmare goes with it. I'm getting that camera. She turns to you. Captain, we have to do something. No. No? What do you mean no? Not letting you put yourself at risk for a darn camera. Stay here, that's an order. But my photos. It's just a camera, Kasha. You've still got your notes. My notes aren't enough. The world needs photos to believe this. Aren't they? You have the testimony of the rest of us. The story comes from you, not the machine. Kurt steps forwards. Oh, great, the ice is gonna fall. I will do it. Have you two gone mad? It's my understanding that this was precisely for attending this expedition. Let's go, Kasha. Kurt afflicts the rope to Kasha, locking her in tight with climbing gear. Leave the climbing to me. As a civilian, your safety is top priority. I would suggest rethinking this plan of action. We cannot afford to lose our navigator. It's because I'm the navigator that I'm going down. If I can't save the camera, no one can. That would be the preferable option. Kurt pays no heed to the press of Templeton, keen to climb down now with Kasha in tow. Thank you. Don't think me until the job is well done. Bad luck otherwise. They're risking their lives for a bloody picture box. You need to stop this show. Get back here this instant, that's an order. I'm not crew and you're not my editor. You can't order me around. I mean, that's fine, losing a small bit of loyalty of her, it's only 5. Kurt and Kasha begin to slide down the wall as the cliff is at a steady pace. Kasha keeps her eyes on the camera at all times. Easy now, easy, you can do this, Kurt. Reassuring yourself isn't very reassuring to me, you know? Okay, I think I can get it from here. Think? Both of you, please, don't make any rash movements. She clicks the camera. And there we go. Now get back up. Now get back up there, you modman. Job well done, so much for the bad luck. Yes, now let's climb back up. Kurt begins to adjust the lines of his climbing gear, prepared to lead up to lead Kasha, but the extra weight from the camera caused the rocks beneath Kurt's feet to crumble, and the former film star goes hurtling back. He snaps to a standstill, the line between himself and Kasha still intact by the weight of the big man's fall. Kasha pulls back from the face of the cliff. Blast, Kosh, are you alright? I can't see the cliff. What's happening? The blasted line won't hold me. Pull us up. The rest of the crew hang back, lest any added weight be added to the cliff to make it even more direct instant. As you look down, you see the pair falling helplessly. Kasha spots you. Captain, start cutting the rope. You command the crew to pull them both up. No doubt the gangling weight of Kurt is also pulling a strain on the end of the rope. It isn't tight past the giant rough. He notices the rope begin to flay at the edges. So does Kurt. Navigator pulls out his knife. Kasha. She looks down at the man as he shouts. I was promised myself I'd lose a few blasted pounds, but it's a bit late for that, I suppose. Take a photo. What? Take a photo of me for prosperity. Once in a lifetime shot. No. Do it. I'm afraid the old thing won't hold out. Can't get any more studentist than that. Start cutting the rope. Command Kasha to drop the camera. She reluctantly drops the camera into the void. Don't you dare, Kurt. He isn't listening. I'll cut this rope before I let you cut yours. You can pull her up, Kurt. You can do this. You see a twinkle in the man's eyes. Do you really believe that, Captain? Don't leave me with Templeton. You're Kurt, of course you can. He puts the knife in his teeth. He starts to swing himself, reaching for the cliff face. As he reaches the mountain slide, he takes out the knife and cuts the line, before gripping the side of the mountain and returning the knife to his mouth. He begins to climb and attaches Kasha to herself. In spite of his injuries, he's cured through the expedition. Kurt makes it farther up the cliff wall than anyone could have anticipated. Grunting and heaving, he makes a few rungs, pulling Kasha in tow. Oh no! Before his body entirely gives up, hanging near lifeless but still gripping to the face side. Sorry, Kasha. I just can't move. Kurt, you know you could. You're a hero. I wish I could take one more photo. Oh well, the truth lives on. Kurt tries one last attempt to ascent, but the pair both know their fate. The ice rock is away. No. Sorry, not gonna allow that. I'm not gonna allow my favorite characters to die. Let's try this again. What do you say? Means we're going to do all this again. I think if we just pulled them up instead of trying to convince them not to go over, that would have been better. So we can skip this. I'm not allowing them to die. I've gone this far about letting anyone die. Sure, I may have gone back in time a few times, but I'm not going to allow anyone to die. We'll just skip through all the dialogue. I know that takes away all the tension and all the fear of me making the wrong decision. But at the same time, I don't want any of them to die, so I physically have to do this. Alright, talk to Dr. Nutley. We've gone quite a lot in that time, Nutley. Explain. Plus 5 loyalty. Caution Kurt. You know, I'm just gonna say, is this about the Apperton Tinny Company? No. I'm gonna say, what do you mean? Mr. Templeton, non-form Templeton to leave you be. Most of it true, I'm sure. You're right, Kurt shouldn't be, blah. I mean, you guys have heard all this. I'm sure Kasha has no need to lie to paint this crew in a positivity. Of course. But those who read these things can be tremendously judging. Why you're suggesting this, Kurt? Blah, 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 blah. Maybe if he didn't have that heart attack, I bet everybody else would have died, though, if he didn't have a heart attack. We're not your publicist, Kurt. No, you're free to publish this as you please. Of course, of course. Pathetic. Dr. Templeton. Do you think there's a chance we can find it? Don't think for a second that we aren't going to finish what we started. Gave it to Grimly, he earned it. Visit the marker, give my speech. I have to go through all this again, but you know, I just won't allow them to die. I won't allow anyone to die. Alright, now we can go to bed, wake up again, say the exact same things to Cordell. You're awakened, shaken, literally by the engineer. He stands over you for a moment, she's just sinking. What about Cordell? Food supplies stolen from the storage. I mean, we still do have a bolt action. She's trying to make a run for it. Why are you wasting your time with me? We need to stop her. Right? No, I just can't click that, and then it just sent me there. That's unfortunate. Follow the tracks away from camp. Let's approach slowly, follow my lead. I'm guessing I can somehow get... I bet if I draw my gun, I can get Hammond killed. Captain Shaw, Hammond, with a surprise. Please educate me. There, none of that ever happened. Everyone's fine. Week 39, land. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. This whole thing's gonna happen. She's gonna fall. Unfortunately, really bad at this. No. That's an order. My photos. Just a camera. You still her notes. My notes are enough. Testimony from the rest of us. The story comes from us, not the machine. I'll do it. No, you won't. I insist, Captain. This isn't up for debate. You're both staying here. That's an order. Loyal to you. Loyalty. Alright, Captain. Kurt reluctantly agrees. The camera slips from the ledge into the pail below. Minus 28 research. That's all of it. Before it was only minus 1. I guess when she got down there, she got the pictures out of it. The camera only had 1 research on it. A cave. A good spot. Some shelter from the winds. Still, what lies on the inside may prove a danger. The crew have gotten to work setting up camp at the peak of the mountain. The camp is set up. Right. Approach. Captain. It's just my luck, isn't it? To make it this far only to lose the camera at the final hurdle. We should be grateful nothing more important was lost. As Kurt approaches, Kasha lets out a small chuckle. Yes, it is the bright side, of course. Your life is much more important than that camera. Yes, still, it would have been nice to recover it. Of course, I'm not taking this for granted. There's still something I should say. Past comments I made. Forgiven. Will allow me to apologize to us. No, I understand now. You can't convince me to lie in my report. I'll tell the entire truth. I understand. And the truth is that Kurt Darling is a true hero. You needn't say that. I've caused my fair share of troubles in this expedition. Yes, and I don't intend to hide that from anyone. But your heroism is more important to share. What did you tell me about inspiring others? Thank you. I only hope that another young Kasha Belfield reads my report. You deserve to be Commander Kurt. We don't deserve anything, Robin. That shouldn't be our motivation. Chasing glory has been my vice for a long time. Whatever you write about me, it has my blessings. There, I can expect honesty. Thank you, friend. And thank you. Again, we don't have any food. We don't have anything. It's probably because that you could have chosen to keep this stuff, but I didn't. I chose to save the dogs. Even if they probably will die, I chose to save them the other way. Captain, it's time. We're at the crossroads and a decision needs to be made. We read the thingy. We know the location of Viscount lies in this cave. We are close, our mission ends there. What do we expect to find there? Answers, for better or for worse. If what we read is correct, the store cabin should hold enough rations to last a full year. We can afford the risk of missing a single rescue ship. I think it's worth it. You're right, we can't turn away from this opportunity. Indeed. You should inform the crew our motivation as soon as you leave this tent. I know you make the right call, Captain. I really feel like we should have some people waiting there. View of the shore, you look out across the ocean. Abandon the mission and seek the rescue ship. Can I just abandon everybody? Because again, there's lots of options. Past the tent, you're quick to notice what's going on. Kasha and the interrupted photographer standing close to the doctor. She's alerted to your footsteps and opens her eyes, which are quickly widened as you're spotted. Quickly, she and Netley pull away from each other. Their heads nervously swelling around the tents, letting out a cough. Captain, you could have cleared your throat or something. And we were just, sticking together for warmth. A clever decision. Yes, quite clever. Very, very, very clever of us to be doing that. That was definitely what we were doing. Arthur, I think the captain was jostling us. This or Shaw is quite dense, and this would have been a greater issue for us. Congratulations, both of you. Oh, thank you, Captain. We should be thanking you, Shaw, placing us together in one tent for a year. Constantly forced conversation. Don't blame me for this. Lame. We spoke at length for the first unsuspectingly vast knowledge of ice fishing. And ended with a casual conversation about our favorite newspapers. Well, it wasn't entirely casual. What do you mean? Aha, I knew you didn't notice it. Notice what? Kasha throws her throat. Can't speak. Kasha clears her throat before putting on an afflicted voice, dramatically quoting her past segments. Why, Doctor, I think you'd be a great subject for my next report. I'm sure you wouldn't mind a write-up in your interesting life. A handsome young medical prodigy. You must have a... something? Doctor, there's excellent seafood restaurant in the capital. We should absolutely eat there when we return to land. Kasha chuckles to herself. I used we for goodness sake at the beginning of it, to think that you were oblivious to all flirtation. I recognized some of it, I was just too nervous at the time to respond. Though it is true, I did think you were just passionate about seafood. I've heard enough, I don't need the entire story. Kasha pauses for a moment. You don't take issue with this, do you, Captain? So when will you hold the wedding? Excuse me? Har, good one, Captain. Presuming all goes well, of course, not for another year or two. Or 5. The Doctor, you know me. I like to live fast. 5 years is fast. Think I could whittle you down. I'm joking, of course. It's far too soon to speak of that. Well, forbid or not, we're at the end of our journey here, I hope. Matters of the crew are in the past, to sail home with Kasha. Well, it's something to look forward to. Been quite a while since we had that. Agreed. Wish you both happiness is what you deserve. Thank you, Captain. Now if you excuse us. For warmth. Alright, cave entrance. You notice the compasses are pointing the opposite direction of the cave. No, pointing. You notice the compasses, yeah, pointing directly towards the cave. Forgo the rescue ship and search for the Viscount. A commitment kept. Forgo rescue to complete the mission. A dark cave network revealed itself into the opening. We're not going to be able to go home after this, right? We're not going to have to live here on this island forever, for all eternity. Hey, there's a small boat down there. Can we sail away? Can we sail away on this? There it stands before you, the Viscount. Where it was left by its former crew, but not as it was left. The ship stands quite differently indeed. The snow filling the grotto, it almost seems frozen in time. The winter itself remains in fixated awe of the ship's impossibly sprouting great lost ship. Snap to attention. You cannot afford to lose your focus. Expedition's goal isn't reached. After 5 years, no, 6. After the most roundabout road possible, you finally found it. Drop the mask of the captain, but for a moment and cheer. Keep it understated. You nod your head slowly. Yes. My word, this is it. Kasha processes to be lost for words. Instinctively she reaches down for her camera before her eyes will open wide. Oh no. Are you okay? What's wrong? There'll be no pictures. There isn't a soul who will believe those without photographic evidence. Well, there's at least eyewitnesses. They can't think us all mad, right? My goodness, will you look at that? In all my years, never have I seen something this remarkable. Beautifully. It's amazing. It sure is something. The impossibility lies before our very eyes. A reward for those who have braved the land with no return. Shawl, could this have all been worth it? To find this at the end of our road. My goodness. Shawl, despite this vegetation, the Viscount looks to be intact. I shouldn't hazard to get my hopes up, but remarkably, truly remarkably. Captain, we must study this at once. I was concerned, Shawl, I was worried that we might not find anything at the end, but this is more than I could have possibly imagined. How could something like this exist out here? It's just not possible, is it? Oh, sorry, that was Arthur speaking. Believe your eyes, Doctor. Well, grimly, it looks familiar, doesn't it? Aye, a tree in the snow. The fruit of the three sisters, right? The old tale that would keep me up at night. Careful, Shawl, there are many sorrows to sing about this song, none of them good. Awfully superstitious, don't you think? Any good sailor would be. Besides, we're looking out now, aren't we? What the fluff am I seeing things here? Well, not. You've got to be fluffing joking. I know this tree. The tree? I don't give a shite about some bloody tree. What's then what? The Viscount, look at it. It's seaworthy. You know that from the look? I know every inch of it. It shows like it's twin. We can sail this. Captain, this is truly a discovery for the ages. We need a moment to collect our thoughts. Under no circumstances is anyone to touch that boat. For all we know, this plant could be poisonous. We need to practice extreme caution. Well, you're the botanist, eh? Aren't ya? Take a look at it. Grr, bark, 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 bark. Stand very, please. I'm no expert in plants, but there's something about this that unnerves me. Is Captain Hunt here? Don't trust him for 1 second. You need a proper assessment of the tree, Templeton. Agreed, this is what we came here for, Shawl. This is the fruit of our labor. Well, we should not lose focus. The crew get to work setting up a makeshift camp on the side of the ship in the grotto. Captain's cabin. It's locked. Descend below deck. Descend below deck. Inspect the organ. Nothing. Descend to lower deck. Hey, this is like the opposite one. This is like opposite, because there's coal stored here when normally on the other ship it's stored there. An old skeleton is what appears to be in a captain's uniform. The bones have fused with the roots around them. They're clearly here for some time. Inside the coat, you find the ship's key. Vision the Viscount, a classic reformed steam train model, twisted amongst the roots of the tree. You unlock the door with the captain's key. It's Captain Hunt. You enter the ship to find a ghost sitting before you. Lit across the room are countless familiar scrawlings. Crew wanted. Glory to be had in return. You must not have it. Wait a minute. Beginning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's 3 paths. Always stuck in the ice, no matter what. Temple. Oh, dude, this has to. These are the names of like all the major dudes. This is each time they die, isn't it? Shaw? Mystery. Because we know we can rewind time. And this is clearly some sort of time travel thingy. Does this ship have the ability to travel back through time? And this is how many times everybody has not made it to the end, while Junior and Templeton die a lot. Cordell dies a few times. Can I kill Templeton myself? Is that possible? Or are there just ways to get him killed? You wouldn't happen to have a light. Would you? I thought you were dead. Not dead, not quite alive either. Somewhere in between. I think. Hunt, is that really you? In the flesh, my friend. You have a lot to answer for, Hunt. I'm sure you have infinite questions. He looks up into your head. Don't suppose you saw my hat on the way out here? Grimley has it. He earned it. Very good. I never liked that hat anyways. A bit aggressive ring, don't you think? How's my ship? Wherever you left it, give or take a few leagues beneath the ice. May the sea soothe her spirits. I hope she puts up a fight. Suppose I was wrong to call her my ship anyways. Which reminds me, Templeton told you about the company. Yeah, the Apperton company. He brought it up, yes. I figured as much. Apperton's story is rather trash porn. You sure you want to hear? Let him continue. Beautiful beyond reproach, you swear you've never seen someone so idyllic. Anyways, the young Scarlet originally found herself at the helm of an illustrious stage career, following the business office, modeling, advertising, and of course, love. Well, doomed love. She was widowed, you see, but not before winning the heart and hand of the son of the Tint Food Company. Get to the fluffing point. Dr. Fleet would say that Minerva would like to keep whatever she finds for herself. Get out of the game, as it were. When you first mentioned the Viscount was a research vessel, what was it researching? I have some questions of my own, indeed first, Robin. Now I want to know, which Shaw is speaking to me right now? Robin Shaw. Who else would it be? Yeah. How the Stokes brothers faring? Alive and well, no thanks to you. That's good to hear. You made land after the sale, I assume. How's everybody else? How'd you fare on the ice? Katya dropped her camera during the climb. We avoided disaster, but the camera was lost. Drat, that camera was the most important item on this expedition. It's the only way any of this will be relieved. We have enough eyewitness testimonies. We certainly hope so. The Cannon Master attempted to leave when the expedition went to mainland. I did what I had to do. I talked her out of it. Not easy to do. You must have had a conversating argument. I'm sure you'll be thrilled to learn Mr. Templeton's fine. I'd say that sarcastically. Heh, I expected as much. Is he giving you much grief? Quite a lot, actually. Heh, no surprise there. He thinks himself to be in charge of this mess. No doubt, I take it you reminded him of his place. The doctor managed to stay out, with us at least. He found his nerve out here on the ice. Now that's pleasant to hear. He was the only crew member I was unsure of. I didn't want to upset his father by getting the poor boy killed. Now, not that any of that matters now. Now I have questions of my own. Of course. Sure, wondering what led me here. You might be able to tell me this isn't a particularly hopeful answer. You failed my men. Let me continue. Well, there are 4 of us. I'm sure you quickly figured out. Smurf, Corville, Joe, and myself grab a Ruby code and head off to one of the larger lifeboats. And where are the others now? Smurf was the first to go. They knew what they were doing. They made their choice, and now let's pass. Be more specific, Hunt. I need details. He looks wistfully at the table. The custom of the sea occurred. What do you mean? I bet if I was a Saltborn, I would have known. It was Quadville's idea. There was a protest, but after we learned that the tins were poisoned, we had no other choice. You knew we had to do, but it never should have come to that in the first place. The other two argued over partaking. Smurf refused, instead subjecting himself to further tins. He didn't last long after that. He turned sour by the 4th day and attacked us. Then froze himself. Colville and I made it to this mountain, and she made the impossible choice. Shawl from themselves to the mission. Man goes quiet. Can't get the taste out of my mouth, Shawl, no matter what I do. I think I'm gonna be sick. You don't understand, Shawl, every time this happens. A road always leads here no matter what. It always leads to this. You've seen the tree outside, haven't you? Fruits? This is all for fruit? You know it's not just that, don't you? This is what the Appertons have been after. We're here for this. All roads lead here, Shaw. All roads? All roads. I've eaten this fruit countless times, and yet I'm still here. We've heard this conversation countless times. Different me and different you, but the same. We keep coming back here. Do you regret the choices you made, Shaw? I remember you told me a sign of a good leader is willpower. Do you still stand by that? I do. That is commendable, Robin. The worst thing any of us can do, Robin, is become the consequences of someone else's plan. Maybe you'd been the best Shaw you can be. Maybe not, but you can still be. He gestures towards the fruit. If this, you can go back. Change the path to me. You speak like you've been in this cave for years. I haven't, and I have. Every time I've eaten this fruit, the past loops. Comes back, freakishly back into the mind. Then I send my mind back once more. You can do the same, Robin. You can go back again. You don't really remember, part of you will want to try something else. Some things will stay the same, we always get stuck, the temperance is always lost. But you can save lives, save rations, perfect your leadership. If you eat the fruit, that is, open up the eyes of yours. He pushes the fruit towards you. What do you say, Robin? Eat the fruit, no. I don't trust it. My path is settled, Hans. Well, at least this means you're proud of your choices. A fruitful endeavor. Survive the ice unstained. We should head out, Robin. We have people waiting, I understand. It's been an age since I've seen my crew. Oh, but before we do, the tree out here. Do you plan on taking it back to the Appertons? Something like this can't exist. Refrains for a moment. Interesting. Still making up my mind. What do? We cut the tree down and we burn it. You ready for the big reveal? What should we say? Perhaps you should wait behind. You could shock the crew to death if you come out right away. Afraid I won't be doing that, Shaw. I've waited long enough already. I'm eager to look at Templeton's face. But that's interesting. Again, there's still many branches we have not done. The two of you take your place towards the rest. Templeton is the first to notice you. As predicted, look in his face, unique shock, anger, and mortification. Templeton, I appear to have found your lost captain. Other heads rapidly turned the direction, one by one, abandoned their work and rushed to the assembly to see for themselves. I have captured the traitor, Rufus Hunt. No, we certainly have a lot to clear up before we continue. Oh, yeah, that's a bloody understatement. Bloody hell, it's actually him, walking corpse. Others began to mutter frantically. Hunt? You're still alive. The doctor made it. Good, I need you to fix up my teeth. Excuse me? You survived the entire time? I'm gonna struggle to convince people my report is true at this rate. This is quite the shock. Hunt whispers to you. I knew the look on his face would be worth it, but perhaps you would like to clarify on our situation? I'd like to know what happened myself. God, is that Grimly? It's good to see you again. Where are the rest, Hunt? The rest, Smurf, Corville, Joe, where are they? They didn't make it. After all these years, just like that, they're gone. Did they at least receive good deaths? As best they could, Grimly. Now's not the time to dwell on those who have gone. Captain? Yes. No, Captain Shaw. How in the world did you find this man? Captain Hunt is indeed the only survivor of those who left us. He was partaking in the customs of the sea. Those who know what this means exhibited a reaction, others are left confused. Hunt looks at the ground ashamed. To clarify, that means he ate them. There's a shocked response with a twinkle of resentment from his former compatriots. He has enlightened you to why he left? You're so right, Shaw. The bastard abandoned us. Mind your word, Hammond. Show some respect. No, I remain unenlightened. Means to destroy the Vice County. No, I remain unenlightened. Captain, I think it's time we open the floor for the rest of the crew. Something tells us many of us have words to share. Hunt, why did you bring me aboard this expedition? Excuse me? Doctor, this is hardly time to work out your insecurities. The floor is open, Templeton. Quite so. Hunt, I've been asking myself this question since you left, since I saw you leave. Pardon, you what? You saw Hunt leave and you didn't stop him? He couldn't stop Hunt and his men. What does it matter if he saw him? It's in your past now. He won't hold that against you, Arthur. I know, but I still need to know. Heh. Remember that you looked frightened like a deer when you saw me go. Is that why you brought me on board? Because I couldn't stop you? Because I was young, naive, easily manipulated? It is, isn't it? Hunt tilts his head in confusion. Hells no. Oh? No. It was a favor to your father. He's my barber. That's it. That's the entire reason. Aye, he's very good. Asked me to toughen his boy up a bit. Seems like it's done the trick. Kasha let out a small chuckle before covering her mouth to stop herself. Arthur's a respectable man now. Thank you, Robin. That's good to hear. It's true, I watched the young lad grow over the last year. It's amazing how much he's matured. To be honest, I was worried from the beginning that my father was involved, and yet, through all this has happened, I'm actually relieved what the real reason is. So, this entire time it didn't matter. I put more than what I thought why I was here than Hunt ever did. Arthur has no choice but to laugh at how absurd it all is. We're all getting away from the point at hand. Anyone else apparently required of psychological elevation. Turn back to the crew, find yourself face to face with Hammond. He darts past you and confronts Hunt. Enough bloody games. You should have gone down with the ship. That's tradition, you coward. Tradition would want all of us dead. Best not to follow that now. No more jokes, Hunt. Hammond's right. Watch your mouth, Hammond. How about Hunt watches himself? Don't threaten him, Hammond. Don't forget he's our captain. He left us to die, the bastard. Indeed, to pick and choose which tradition matters is shameful now. At least Strahl, she's. The crew is still looking at you to make sense of it all. Is there anything you'd like to add, Captain Shaw? Take this opportunity to come clean about the events past. Clear your throat. The rest of the crew is still waging and watching. About our benefactor. Templeton's boss note. This was a sweet aside mission. The name is Mervian Appleton. She owns the Tinned Food Company. The Tinned Food? As in the peaches? I spent an age attempting to uncover information on the mysterious benefactor. You mean to tell me that we were eating from their tins the entire time? Curious. Why would a tinning company invest so much into a single mission? Ridiculous. Seems our captain is suffering from some kind of delirium. A tinning company? Absurd. Don't deflect. Tell them why the Appletons invested. I think it's best we decide the next course of action. The boy does not have much life in it, correct? As the captain, I'm curious to know what you're up to. This is ridiculous. It's not up to anything nefarious. In fact, I cannot say for myself why this mission was invested in. Such information was kept even out of my reach. The rest of the crew is still watching and waiting. I think we've all heard enough. We cannot wait around forever, Captain. This ship, this tree. What is the next course of action? Isn't it about time you told them about the tree? Hunt, what do you know of this? I'm sure you're very interested in knowing, Richard. Anyone would be. This is what your employer seeks. The fruits of this tree, it changes everything. It will change the world. The fruit? Yes. I've tasted the fruit countless times, and I've seen countless paths to this moment. My word. He's truly gone insane. Not surprised the man's lost his mind. Isolation out here would happen to anyone. I assure you, he is not delusional. What, Shaw, you've honestly been convinced by this man's rabblings? Listen to me. to L's with the Appertons. They can't be allowed to have this. Nobody should. What are you suggesting? It needs to be destroyed, burned to the ground. What? Hunt. It's quite possibly the most important discovery of our age. It needs to be studied. Bearing that, you were hired by the Appertons to retrieve it. It's not our choice to decide your ethical judgment. Hunt is right. This thing should not be allowed to exist. Allowed to exist? You hear how drastic that sounds? Shawl? Regardless, I'm captain of this expedition and my word's final. Long silence falls among the proceeding. Rufus Hunt, you're not the captain of this expedition. What? Then who is? Shawl? Shaw's the first mate. That was a temporary agreement. I've returned and reclaimed my role. Unfortunately, Hunt, I've read our contract quite thoroughly. Templeton proceeds, produces his copy from his jacket pocket. In event of the captaincy and held contested, the correct course of action is to hold a vote. Any officer of the crew may put themselves forward to claim the title. This is what we'll have. The crew shall decide for themselves. A vote? I welcome it. The contract also states the candidate should put forward their selection for first mate position. Selection of first mate is allowed to make their case for the crew to open forum why they should be selected their parent candidate. Good luck with that. Let's get to it then. Come on, you lots. Captain's vote requires a deck. Board now. Let this end. The crew tenaciously board the vessel. Preceding comments. Vote for the captaincy. Here's everybody. We didn't let a single man, woman, or child die. Everybody's a little bit worse for wear, as you can clearly see. But they're alive nonetheless. No need for introductions. We're far past that at this point. There's much I've seen in my days, leading vessels like this, and all sorts of you lots would hear songs of it and doubt every word. But what I've seen here goes far beyond any of that. What stands before you is much bigger than any of us. I've walked this path before so many times, half of you can't even arrest that. I understand if you look at me as a deserter, a coward, a traitor, you have every reason to. But you should ask yourselves where you stand, what road you took, always here with me. Even in my absence, I always led you to where you needed to be. Hunt clears his throat before pointing to the tree. This thing is an abomination. Power it holds is too great for any one person to possess. Hunt holds up the fruit. Do you wish to hand this quite little fruits of our labors over to our employers who would have us die out here for their games? The employer who would not even trust you their name. An employer who would leave us out here to die on the ice, who would refuse to send rescue. There's murder between the crew and implications of the rescue ship was not even sent. Robin Shaw was a fine officer, but Shaw could only hold down the fort in my stead. Shaw did not weather the seas. Shaw did not discover the Viscount. I did. You should judge Shaw in the officer's own words. When we last spoke on the Temperance, Shaw told me the mark of a true leader comes in willpower. I ask you, what has willpower gotten you over a solid, proper plan? Do you think the will of Robin Shaw will carry you any farther? Now I believe it's time my first mate said a few words. Grimley, I'm still standing with my captain. I know, son, not you. Captain Shaw. Grimley, what? No. What? How can I stand with you when you couldn't even stand with us? Junior, will you accept the honor of? You're not my captain either. Junior, Grimley, haven't I taken care of you since you were but lads? Times changed. We realize what a snake you are, Rufus. Well, in case I believe it's your turn to speak, Shaw. You step forward to the crew with bated breaths. Hunt has already had his chance to speak. Now it's time for your chance to refute his words. They're still listening here. You've traveled far with this crew, and now they stand, all seeming to hope that your next words will install them in confidence and assurance that all the time spent with you have been worth the trouble. You pause, collecting yourself for a moment before making your first statements. Grimley has the captain's hat, so I can't hold up the captain's hat. It has been some time. I hope that you would permit me just a little bit more. I once believed that a true leader was one that exerted great willpower. I was mistaken. A true leader should be unafraid to show their true face to the crew, to hide, to close their eyes to their own plight. I see before me faces from many different backgrounds. The saltborn among you maintain loyalty to one of your own in Hunt, but I know the rest of you will. born on land, but I found my true people among the soldiers. Consider me not a land but sea. I look at you here, all side by side, shoulder to shoulder. We each have more in common with each other now. With each other than anyone else in this world. The crew look around, examining each other, taking a moment to consider the souls they've traveled with on the ends of the earth. The souls they intend to travel back with. I haven't a bad word to say about this lot. Frankly, their music is some of the finest I've had the honor of hearing. Thank you. I've had my views of these people for some time, but I see now I was wrong. Here we are all brothers in arms. Whatever I thought about landlubbers and imperialists and shite like that don't matter anymore. We're all one crew, aren't we? Your thoughts turn to the Viscount and the tree sprouting from its back. You must make your intentions clear. The tree cannot be allowed to exist. I fully intend on burning it to the ground. The time for fear is over. Let us bleed united and plunge ourselves headfirst into the depths now. This is business as usual, people. Let's get to work. Who will you choose as first mate to speak on your behalf? No one. You'll stand alone. I'd like to choose Grimly, but I'm going to choose Kasha. They nod back to you. Kasha steps forwards. I didn't intend to involve myself in these matters, but I will speak my mind. Mr. Hunt, you have a copy of the crew's manifest. I thought not. No Shaw carries a copy. A consult is an alarming irregularity. I have never seen someone so dedicated and applying themselves with such diligence to an affair for every single person or their employee. As I drafted my report, it was not intentional, but I constantly found myself referring to Shaw's crew and Shaw's campaign almost unconsciously. And I quickly realized I find it impossible to imagine anyone else leading this group. Not Hunt, Shaw. For better or for worse, this is Shaw's crew, Shaw's campaign. I fully believe that no other could have achieved what Robin Shaw has done. I wish to write down this expedition because I believe this an era of heroic explorers has passed. It was a time we could never return, a nostalgic remembering of a bygone age. And yet, here stands positively the greatest explorer and hero who will ever influence the new age. I know who can take us home. I may not even be a sailor, but nevertheless, Robin is my captain. Kasha steps back. Start the voting process. I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna vote for me because I have loyalty to everybody. You should vote for me. Yeah, loyal to me. Everyone's loyal to me. Arthur Nutley, loyal to me. Kirk Darling, loyal to me. Grimly Stokes, loyal to me. Junior, loyal to me. Hammond, loyal to me. Cordell, loyal to me. And finally, Kasha Belfeld, my first mate, loyal to me. Oh man, it feels so good to get all the votes. This is just amazing. Everybody voted for me. Everyone here is my friend. There's two Johns. There's Mrs. Gloss. There's Mr. Gloss. There's Stanberry. There's Hammond and his bald head. There's Zach. There's York the Third, I'm pretty sure. That guy, I don't know who you are actually, or you. I think you might be an engineer or a scientist. I can't tell. I think you're an engineer. I think that guy's an engineer. I think you're just a sailor. Under your cavity, I couldn't see that well. I think you're gnomes. I don't know, these guys, I didn't get a proper look at these guys in the crew's manifest. With their new weathered looks. In gnomes. Lefty looks fine, Tucker looks fine. Clearly everybody's a little under the weather. Runt, you don't look like you're doing too well. There you have it. Congratulations, Shaw. I knew you could do it. Thank you, I suppose. I forced the vote because I had to be sure. Finally, it's good to have the matter settled, Captain. I should feel glad for my sudden promotion, even if our expedition is close to its end regardless. Well, as first mate, we should decide on Hunt. His story is the most pitiful thing, anything. I suppose Law's back in land would see his case differently. Never been able to assess him properly. We may want to be cautious. He could lash out at any moment, but you know the men's a tense better than I. I'm curious, not myself. Well, Shaw, you're captain. What should you do? Apprehend him, he will take him back to Atlantis. The prisoners ruined him, he will remain here for the end of the days. He'll join us as a free man. To we leave land at least. And it's out of our hands, isn't it, Robin? The consequences of someone else's plan. Amazing, I can't believe it. I lost my camera right before signing this. There's not a soul who will believe this story secondhand. If you ask me, the people should know about this. Everyone. This is a massive breakthrough. But I understand if you don't trust our employer with that knowledge. Tree cannot be allowed to exist. Burn it. I can't say I approve of the destruction of such a fascinating landmark, but before we know much about it, but there's something that concerns me farther. Is the Viscount really seaworthy? Burning the tree will remove the ship as well. If that, we lose our best way out of here. It's a sacrifice we'll have to make. We cannot allow anyone to get their hands on this tree. Even if it means staying here for all eternity. Is that so? Okay, let us hope you don't regret this. 2 pieces of history gone. I can't say I approve, Captain. It must be done. For the benefit of humanity, the tree must be burned. With this, humanity will destroy itself. Without it, it's already going to. Up in flames, observe the Viscount burn. You watch as eventually the Viscount begins to burn in turn. But now let's let this get off this island. You just said them done, I suppose. Unless my timing is wrong. We aren't able to exactly reach shores for the rescue ship, aren't we? So we'll need another way. We'll send an envoy out in the lifeboat, one who can flag down the rescue ship and lead them here. The final decision regarding the ship must be decided. Send an envoy. Let's get closer. Can we speak to Stanbury? Arf. Good girl, Stanbury, good girl. Stanbury lets it a playful bark. Let's send Stanbury. To be honest with you, Straw, I'm still trying to wrap my head around this madness. But I doubt such knowledge will be out of our hands as we return to land, correct? Still suppose we should be proud of our discovery. We wouldn't have made it this far without you, Cordell. Or Crean, or Rosa, or Pascal, or... Seriously, say it, or Stanbury. I've not accomplished much on my own, Captain. All I ask is that my killing will be remembered. It'll be odd when we return to land, my name will be in the papers soon. No doubt I'll be recognized for my past. How's Stanbury faring? She's much more excited to return to land, I believe. Hope we will deliver her pups on the ship. I believe I'll find a new home. Start over with a new kennel. I believe I've done as much before. I tend to do it again. If any luck, we will not meet again. It's been good knowing you, Cordell. It has been. Interesting, Robin. Promise me you'll take care of yourself. Hammond, one of my favorites. This is it, eh? We've got one less gamble on our hands, but I never thought we'd make it this far in the first place. Turns out, what do I bloody know? Not much. I don't think anyone could have guessed this, Hammond. Suppose not, but here it is. Guess it doesn't make us feel all... whatever that is, I don't know. But it makes me wonder, what else am I wrong about? What else are you wrong about? Always had a clear head of this sort. Never thought a bloody tree would ruin it. It's okay to be wrong sometimes, Hammond. Just how humans work. Probably I didn't think I'd agree on that. Served a lot of ships in my time. Never once liked one of them in charge. Military captains range from self-important to useless to drunk to self-important and useless. Don't expect high expectations from Hunt and lowered expectations from someone you'd hire. Another thing I was wrong there. You're right, Shaw. What will you do when you return to land? What else? I'll be going back to work. No rest for me. Hopefully more forward work next time. Might take Kurt and his offer. Working with him seems a better gig than the Athertons. Well, if you're ever handling a ship again, let me know. I'm right on board with ya. Everybody knows you'd be a goner without me. Can't believe it's burned. Like any other tree. One less thing to worry about, Captain, still. What a fascinating thing to find. Not so happy about relying on a lifeboat every chance we miss rescue. We don't have much of a choice, best have faith. We've gotten lucky enough times, I suppose. We all should have been dead several times over. Maybe that luck will strike once again. Regardless, I'm looking forward to a normal meal for once. If I see another penguin, seal, or tin peach can, I think I'm gonna hurl my guts, Captain. Though we'll be dining on plenty of fish for our next sail, I imagined. You're finally calling me Captain, are you? Hard target now, right? Seems disrespectful to not recognize your work. Stay in contact, Robin. If you ever sail again, let me know. I'll be happy to work with you. Oh, Captain. I must be honest, it's a shame your choice to remove the tree. I understand. Fear the unknown is a great one. Still, I think the possibilities of this discovery are endless. Well, now we await. It's out of our hands, but we made it this far. Still, despite all that, I have to commend you, Shaw. We've done something remarkable here. Sorry, Templeton, but the dangers outweigh the benefits. We'll have to take your word in that matter, Captain. I've always fancied myself an expert, Shaw. I'm sure this will come as no surprise to you. But over the course of this expedition, well, it's become clear just how little I truly know. And to be honest, Shaw, that excites me. I'm excited for what lies ahead. No doubt there's still a great deal to discover out there. And perhaps you won't sit by until the next great discovery, Shaw. There'll be more expeditions. Minerva will not accept this tree being the only one of its kind, and I would be inclined to agree. To be the foresight of such a discovery, I had my doubts once. I certainly have my doubts in you, Shaw. I've never been more happy to be wrong. I hope we'll have a chance to work together in the future. Our lives are quite busy once we return. We need not work together to remain in contact. That is true, though. I would like to be able to share my work in the future with, no doubt, be limited. But I can say one thing for certain, the future is unknowable. Take care, Robin. No matter what happens from here, take care. Thought might as well throw any script I've been working on out, Captain. This is far more fantastic than any film. To find the Viscount, to find that tree. And one last bet on a humble lifeboat, my word. I think you got the story for your next picture. I wonder if we could land in that funding. Oh, I just realized, my career as a navigator is just about over, isn't it? We just reached the great uncharted part of the world. You know, when I grew up reading these explorers of old, I'd always dreamed I would be the one to plant the final flag. Maybe an old man with a limp and no flag to place, but I managed it, didn't I? There's always more in the world to be discovered, Kurt. You're not wrong. It's the last great discovery we know of, but who knows what else is out there? Who knows, maybe my exploration days aren't over. Now's as good as time as any to call it retirement. Still raise funding for the field. Don't want to leave folk like Hammond behind there. Maybe I'll move to a theater. There's some stories I want to tell, not about this great expedition, or any. At home, the islands are left behind. You've more than earned your rest, not Hammond, Kurt. Thank you, Robin. I should take all this as a sign to wind down, shouldn't I? Always be in contact if we want to work together again, Robin. I'll make sure we do, no matter what medium. Captain, we're working on a song that'll carry us home. I'm gonna call it On Voyage. Terrible name, I know. You should play it when we set off. Hold on, I can't finish it that fast. I never thought I'd have a future until I met Hunt. Then I thought I'd never have a future without the man. I was wrong there, Captain. Do you want to work together again in the future? In better circumstances, if you're at the helm, I'm right behind you. Don't know what the future holds. I'll just keep with the music, see what happens. Good luck, Captain. Let's talk to our first mate last. Captain, I can't believe we made it, and yet we still place our hopes on one lifeboat. Kurt is no doubt coming with the perfect poetic phase before we set off. And you've made it so far. I'm proud of you, Arthur. Thank you, Robin. I owe it to you. You know, I still thought that all this was hopeless. Even after leaving that letter, I had little faith in survival. And yet, people were relying on me, Captain. I can only hope I didn't let them down. I'd be happy to work with you again, Arthur. I would too, but I can assure you I will never be sailing again, ever. Had more than enough for one lifetime. Never felt so good to carry my father's name, but now, well, thank you. Keep in contact. If you need a haircut anytime, I'll tell my father to treat you for free. Well, I have a lot to write down and I sail back, don't I? Still can't believe this. Just watched it burn to the ground, I still can't believe it. But now, just have to wait. Let's hope our rescue ship can be flagged down. It almost overshadows the journey, doesn't it now? We've defined all bad fortune this far. I think we'll see rescue. I'll be sure to include that quote in my report. It's funny, Captain. The reason I took on this story, interest in exploration, was warning. I grew up on the stories of Kurt Darling. Those great explorers were legends to me. I didn't want the passion to disappear. Who'd have thought we'd stumble upon a great discovery of our own? You're one of those great explorers now, Tasha. Your name will be in the history books. That is bizarre to think about, Captain. Regardless, I hope you continue to thrive, Shaw. You deserve that much. In fact, remember to keep in touch with me, especially if you have a good story to share. They'll write books about you too one day, Shaw. I know they will. Send an envoy. Last lifeboat is by his count, enough for a skeleton crew to make sail. Send an envoy to search for rescue to bring back. But who's going? Do I get to choose who gets to go? Or is it just the scouts? The scouts would make sense. Maybe there's scouts and a few sailors. I hope they do find a rescue ship and flag it down and get it back. Oh, Kasha's there. Oh, that makes sense. I thought we'd reached the end of our journey, Captain. I often enjoy the feeling of uncertainty. Right now, however, I can't feel like it's turning in my stomach. You're not alone. I'm deeply concerned as well. Oh, well, thank you for admitting it. You need to put on a brave face around me, Captain. It makes you more real. Kasha looks out over the horizon. Wonder if those back on land will believe what we found out here. Well, Eliza Nash is now. I find it hard to believe that anyone will believe my report. I often read of stories, tales of great explorers, the great captains of history, and never thought I'd end up traveling with one myself. Well, I've had my fill of great explorations for one lifetime. Ha. Well, I certainly can't blame you. You've done more than enough. They'll write books one day about you, Captain. I know they will. Thank you for making history, Robin. I think we both earned a rest. Man, if everybody else dies back there, I'm going to be very angry. Please tell me you find the rescue ship. A week's hard sail finally gives way to land. Make land. The lifeboat makes port. Exhausted, you and Kasha spot a building ahead. Disembark. We need to send rescue back for the others. Our old friends. Oh, this is whale bones. Is that it? Does everybody get saved? What happens? Some weeks later. Is everybody saved? Please tell me everybody's saved. If not, then I'm gonna have to play again until I figure out how to save everybody. Reports furnished and ready to publish. Are you ready to astound your readers? Almost. One final thing before we publish. And what's that? I'll be removing the final section about the tree. What? Why? You've got a good story here. You're surveying out in the ice, and all of a sudden, reading some unbelievable nonsense about a tree in the coldest part of the world. Come on, Bilford. It's true. It's what I saw. And I know what I'm not seeing. Proof. Why are there no pictures of this great discovery? I told you I lost my camera on the mountaintop. Convenient about it, I can't run it with this. We'd be laughingstock. Nobody's gonna buy it without any proof. Daily Appeal's already a laughingstock. You think I want to get trapped in the ice for long just to come back here and lie? Belford. You can't omit this. No, it's too important. If you do, I'll take my report to another paper. Fine, but if this blows up in your face, it'll be on your head. Understood? Wouldn't happen any other way. So show me what happens to all the characters, I guess. Or is it only Kasha? Kurt, you bloody idiot. What is it, Clive? I'm left-handed. I throw a punch with my left hand. If your current blocking, it looks like you throw it with your right. Then change the bloody blocking then. Aye, there you are, Clive. Attention to detail is important. That's what you pay me for. Can you believe it, old chum? 2 weeks and the Tale of the Temperance Sawtail will be on stage. Look at this, old scrap-up. Just as I remember it. The way you remember it's got more holes in it than cheese. Har. Perhaps I'm getting up there in years. Good thing to grow old, I've learned. Don't you think, old friend? Aye, I do. So they became friends. 2 enemies became friends. That's nice to hear. And they're putting on a play. Alright. Who ordered the full fry? A patron raises their hand. Hey, Junior, who's the musician? Come on now, can't you see the resemblance? It's my brother Grimly. I can tell him to keep it down if you like. Not at all. He's doing a tremendous job. Ha, you hear that, Grimly? Aye, all the shaved a bit. He's always humble. What happens to Arthur? What happens to the rest of the lot? Look at them play. Your children are growing into fine dogs, Stanbury. Arf. Oh, she does not look like she's doing too well. It'll take some time, but we'll have a kennel again. A few years, perhaps. Stanbury lets out a yawn, curling up to Cordell's side. She reaches down and scratches the dog behind the ear. Wonder if you'll see it. You're getting old, girl. Arf. Yes, you both are. Rest well, dear friend. Would like to hear a song? Arf. I thought so. Let us hope the phonograph still works. Yeah, she does not look like she's doing too well, but I'm sure that's normal for her. Nutley and Kasha stand at the entrance of the barber shop belonging to Arthur Nutley Sr. Nervous? Always, yes. Ha. Are you more or less nervous than usual? Less nervous, more giddy, sort of nervous, I suppose? Nutley enters, followed by Kasha. Is that him? He's coming this way. Arthur Nutley Sr. spots his son from across the shop. Arthur, my goodness, is that really you? Father, aye. The doctor is unable to begin his sentence and interrupted by the barber throwing his arms around him, granting him a hug. It's you, my boy, you're alive. The younger Arthur hesitates. Wait, they both have the same name. He just named his son after him. That's hilarious. The younger Arthur hesitates, surprised before returning the hug from his father. I am. Does your mother know? Your sister? Leslie read it in the paper. Speaking of, I wrote something for you. Dudley hands his father an envelope. Please read it, sometime when I'm not here. Of course, I will. Kasha clears her throat. Pleased to meet you, sir. Kasha Belfold. Don't think I didn't notice you. How do you know my son? He hasn't gotten himself in any trouble. Arthur, in trouble? Hardly. Father, Kasha, and I are well. Did you see we're a item? Yes. Arthur Sr. pauses for a moment before a grin appears in his face. Son, you've been busy. Come, sit. I have much to hear. Everybody lived. Imagine if Arthur had died and just wandered out of the tent because he thought he was useless. None of that would have happened. The old scientist ponders a table before him. He lights a cigarette. I thought he said he doesn't smoke. He does now. Guess after all that's happened, he's decided that it's worth it. Mr. Templeton, you wish to speak with me? Yes, do not worry, this won't take long. Out with it then. Minerva Appleton, I, Richard Templeton, hereby resign. This is sudden. I assure you that's not. I've been given this great deal of thought. I intended to leave y'all's service effective immediately. Very well. Will that be all then? Will that be all? Anything else you need of me? No. On reflection, there's nothing else I need from you. Minerva Appleton exits the greenhouse. Templeton breathes a sigh of relief. That's everybody, right? Oh yeah, Hunt. Hunt waits in his cells. The days have passed as the once captain of the Temperance awaits his trial. This is horrendous, isn't it? Not even a neighbor to keep me company. Hunt speaks to himself in his own empty hall, his voice echoing through the walls. The stories I could have shared of them would have turned your hair white. I wonder, could I do it all again? Suppose it's too late now. Nicodemus is rambling, not a soul around to answer his pleas. I mean, at least everybody else got a good ending. Act 5, survive the ice of all crew alive. Bonded, survive the ice of all crew alive and loyal to you. And then we get a ton of other achievements. Man, I love this game. Apparently, very people survived with grimly alive and loyal to you. That's what the banner around that means. Thingy. When the vote, the Viscount survives? No, it didn't. But hey, we got everybody loyal to me. Bring the stowaway there and back again. Send out an envoy for rescue. Alright. Oh, the air was cold. And flake and white, a captain made a pledge. Out in the ice, I made a claim. And curved a course ahead. What am I, a poet? Of home I'll reach, of warmth near found, through sail to comfort's bed, a hunger drawl the desperate here. It's one that I have fed. What will I do when steel hearts break and courage did exceed? When courage, I learned to live a life out here in the pale beyond. Oh, hey, here's the Temperance. Sunk beneath the ocean waves. Sign off. Wow. Amazing game. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I do have to check the loading thing to see how many branches I did. I bet there was at least a few there. Maybe 3, 4. Who knows, they may got a lot of them. At the very ending, I think there's probably going to be a lot of branches. This is made by whoever these guys are. I think they're probably from Britain. For some reason, most game studios are from Britain. Is there a way to skip this? I really don't care for credits that much. No, there's not. Oh well, I guess I could just cut this part out and wait for the end to see how many branches I did. I might do that, depends on how long this lasts. You know what? I probably will. Meaning, nobody's gonna hear any of this. Meaning I'm basically just talking to myself at this point. Huh. Weird. Now it's all over. I guess I continue with A Hat in Time? I guess. Well. We did it. That was good. I really liked this game. I say talking to myself. Why am I talking to myself? This is a really good game. Never gonna see another like it. Even if I were to make a video game and try to make it like this, I would make none as good. But if they did make another game, maybe they could make it, I don't know, in space. That'd be cool. Maybe in space, something goes wrong with the ship. Sort of the same scenario, but this time in space. That'd be cool. Hope I don't forget to cut this part out. Because I'm going to. It seems very boring. Alright, and welcome back. That was a cut right there. Let's see, how many branches did we do? We only did 1 of 40 branches. But anyways, that was amazing. All 39 weeks completed. We did it. We succeeded. We did it. We finished the Pale Beyond. We saved everyone. Every single person lived. Not a single soul died. Everybody was loyal. I became captain of all the boats. Kasha was my first mate. We sailed back. Survived. Did have to go back in time a few tries just to make sure nobody died because we did things wrong. Took away from the tension, yes, but I'd rather tell a good story. Was this a good story, though? Did the tension being taken away of someone dying because I just restarted each time take away from that tension? Or did it just add to the storytelling that everyone survived? That not a single soul died? Not a single person did I fail. I think it was a good story, nonetheless. I may play this game again on the channel eventually, but anytime soon, probably not. I might play this by myself, just because. Honestly, unless Civilization 7 comes out this year, this is my game of the year. And even then, if Civilization 7 doesn't have Napoleon Bonaparte in it, then it's not going to be my game of the year, my favorite game. The Pale Beyond was definitely worth the price I got it on sale. I think it was $10. It was worth every penny. This was a great experience. I definitely enjoyed playing through this game. I hope you all also enjoyed the series. Maybe go watch some of my other series. Like and subscribe. Follow me on Rumble. Not many people are doing that. In fact, nobody really watches on Rumble. I have about 0 views there nowadays. Used to get a few views here and there, but they all dried up. The views are gone in Rumble. People started viewing more on YouTube, less on Rumble. I guess I sort of understand. But on Rumble, you will get my videos faster. So for the few people who watch all the way through these videos, if you really like the videos that much, going to Rumble does make it faster. In my channel description, I have it says rumble.com right there. Just copy and paste it, and bam, there you are. I'll say that this was amazing. The storytelling in this game, everything that happened, the fact that during the end, I got to do things like become the captain, getting all the votes, where Hunt questioned me on what I've done before. Wonder how it changes based on how many people die. What if I only make it to the end with very little people left? Imagine it. Just a few left. What happens if Kurt dies? What happens if Arthur does? Kasha. What would have happened if we had saved that camera? If we had saved that camera and Kasha had gotten pictures of it, that would have been amazing. Probably. But everyone had a good ending to the story. Junior and Grimly opened up their own diner. Kurt and Hammond did a play. Kasha made a news story that I hope will probably sell well. I mean, they're fictional characters, so my headcanon is that it sells amazing. Arthur survived. His father's finally proud of him. Templeton, don't have much to say about him, never really liked him. But, he did good as well, quitting the Apperton Tinning Company. Finally becoming more like a sailor, I guess. But then again, now that it's over, none of it matters. I'll start a new game and play through it again. Maybe make different choices this time. Maybe try to go kill Dubois. Maybe see if I can make Templeton captain, which sounds like an awful idea. Maybe let some people die. Maybe make different choices. Maybe just head for rescue. Don't even go to Captain Hunt. Captain Hunt ending was kind of what I expected when he told me everything that happened. He had taken the custom of the sea and eaten his fellow friends. He ended up in jail for that. Of course, guess that makes sense. If anything, Captain Hunt is doomed. For all eternity. There's nothing he can do to save himself. He's far, because no matter what, the ship gets stuck on the ice. And no matter what, he'll always leave. He's trapped. He'll either go to jail, be marooned forever. And that's it. I'm guessing, of course, maybe there's some sort of ending where we stay behind. I'm guessing there's maybe 3 endings. Maybe we can sail it back, we can go for the rescue ship, or we can burn it down. But humanity should not have that kind of power. Especially the Apperton Tinning Company, who are willing to send these people to their deaths. And they already had sent the Viscount's crew to their death in order to find this tree. So I think I got the ending that I wanted. The ending that I wanted is what I got. This was an amazing video game. Through and through, the story it told was amazing. It's like reading a book. It's very good. I like books, reading them. I do have a few book series I like, and by that I mean one. But as the book series progressed, it got worse and worse. I think it's about in their, 11th book now? I don't remember. Actually, wait, my small library thingy is over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11. 11 books. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video here. I do hope you all enjoyed as much as I did. Because I definitely enjoyed this throughout the entirety of it. And sometimes, yes, it was stressful. But the payoff in the ending was definitely worth it. The character stories progressed. It actually made sense what was going on. This is probably one of this is definitely the best game I've ever played. It's even better than Civilization 6. Now, in some aspects, no. The gameplay is not as good as Civilization 6. I'll say that. That's just because I like strategy games. But the story it told is something I value more than the gameplay. The gameplay was more of a thing to cause me stress and get me invested into the story. But the story was really what I was in this for. It's really what mattered to me in this video game. And all in all, this is my first time doing this, ever. I'm gonna rate it 10 out of 10. I've never in my entire life rated anything a 10 out of 10. Not food, not video games, nothing. This is the first thing to ever receive a 10 out of 10 out of me. Even the best food I've ever tasted only got an 8. And this gets a 10. I think it'll be a long time before I find another thing that will get a 10 out of 10 out of me. If ever. But this was truly an amazing, just an amazing thing. It's perfect how it is. It doesn't even need any changes, any updates, anything. Like Evil Genius 2 needs a few bug fixes and maybe some new content. Civilization 6, I'm waiting for Civilization 7, hoping they'll add Napoleon Bonaparte. But this, there's nothing I would change about this. In fact, if anything, I hope they make a sequel. Maybe involving space, an airplane. What about it takes place slightly in the past, or slightly in the future? You don't have the same characters before, you're no longer Robin Shaw, maybe you see about them in a news clipping or something. About what happens to them. Well, that would make one of the canon, that would make one of the endings canon. Not any of them, but one specifically. And I'm guessing depending on the things we did, perhaps the ending epilogue things would be different. If Kosh had her camera, it would have been different. If Grimly died and Junior was still alive, it would have been different. If I had shot all the dogs and didn't bring Stanberry, it would have been different. If any one of them died, their story would have been different. But I will say, if they were to make a sequel to this, never the sequel, more of a game in the style of this studio that made this, I hope that they would make a game that you're in an airplane, and the airplane's going to eventually crash. But there's no one there to doubt that you're the leader of this expedition. You are the leader of this expedition. The thing is, here's what my thinking if this were me making decisions on how this would go. You're also with a crew of experienced scouts. Of course, nobody would have like any of the names or any way be related to the first group of characters. An experienced group of scouts and things like that would go with you. But of course, they abandon you as soon as the plane crashes. In fact, they could even be why the plane crashes. The head navigator, the scouting team, they would all be gone. You'd be left with your group of workers, I guess a few scientists. Of course, the cold wouldn't be a problem there. It'd be the bugs. Because you're probably somewhere in a jungle. The bugs would be the problem there. People would just randomly get ill. So you'd either have to devote people to making sure nobody gets bitten by a snake or bitten by bugs. Or you'd have to use doctors to fix it. Food would be more of a hard thing to get, but you wouldn't need fuel. But this is just my ideas, and this is the end of the video. I'll have to say, this is the best game I've ever played. I waited 2 years to play this game. From the launch of its announcing, I thought this would be a good game. I spent a long time here talking. This should truly show you how much I enjoy this game. Because in Evil Genius 2, I could not put it to words of why I liked it. But in this, I'm taking the time and effort to put into words why I like this, how I like it. I like this game. It's the best I've ever played. I waited 2 years for this game. Yeah, since the launch. Then after I heard it was announced, another year. Then when it went on sale, I bought it. Didn't play it at first for a couple of weeks until I had finished whatever I was recording. That way I could play this game. There was a small period of time where I couldn't play it on the channel because I had to get back to the point I was better prepared. But truly, this is one of the best games to ever exist. I don't think there'll ever be another like it. So that's going to be it for today's video. I really do hope y'all enjoyed. I do think it would have been more poetic if this was the last video of the week, but it's not. So, goodbye. Thank you for watching. I really hope y'all enjoyed. And that'll be it.